Some beautiful and very striking music written by and performed by Yehudi Wyner begins a Concord Chamber Music Society program here at GBH's Fraser Performance Studio. I'm Brian McCreath, glad to have you along. I'm in an isolation booth at the studio in the name of social distancing, and this program also includes the founder of CCMS, that's violinist Wendy Putnam. Yehudi, thank you for those opening pieces, some unbelievably beautiful music, and two pieces written very far apart in your life. But the first one I want to ask you about because it has this very personalized title, I might say, but I'm curious about what's behind that title, Piccola, Fantasia, Davenniana. What's the story behind it?
Well, it contains the word Davenni. I was courting Ward Davenni's daughter, a glamorous, beautiful, intelligent, talented person named Susan Davenni. And this was my courtship, which was accompanied by trying to charm the father into believing I was a worthy suitor. You know, like the guy who comes along and has to, like in the L'Histoire de Soldat, you have to perform before the king. And so I wrote this piece, and the piece is not just a title containing Davenni, but also is based on a silly kind of analogy on his name, on the letters of his name, W-A-R-D, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just a very simple transference of numbers and letters, and it ends up in giving you a row.
Okay.
I'm not a serial composer, but working with a row sometimes is like working with a theme.
Yep.
And then comes the compositional effort and imagination to try to make something out of what amounts to nothing in the beginning.
And a row being a set of notes that kind of is what you basically, you base the entire piece on.
Exactly, a set of notes which can be compared to a scale, but a shaped scale, if you like. Yeah, and it's just raw material. That's what it amounts to.
Yeah, but it does speak to the way that a lot of your music comes across, and I think maybe is created, that has personal connections. And that's what you went to in the second of those two short pieces, a piece just written this last spring, and written for a good friend of yours, 4 times 20.
4 times 20. Well, first of all, you mentioned that these pieces were written at great length in between. Mm-hmm. Piccola, Fantasia Davenniana was written in 1966, a few years ago, at the Yale Summer School. And the piece called 4 times 20 has a subtitle, Christoph, and was written for Christoph Wolff's 80th birthday, which happened just about 2 months ago or so. Christoph is really the great Bach scholar. Yep. We have in Boston 2 or 3 of the greatest Bach scholars in the world. And tragically, the piece was written and delivered. Christoph enjoyed it. I made a little video with the aid of my wife. And within about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks after that, Christoph's wife died. Mm. She'd been fighting an illness over some time, and so all of this is together. Mm. But the piece, the title, 4 times 20, Christoph turned 80.
Yeah.
And the piece has exactly 20 bars. Each bar has 4 beats in it. And it is mystical to me that it turned out like that, because I didn't plan this like a mathematician. Oh, really? It's extraordinary. It's the one example of numerology in which I seem to be superstitious. But Bach was a numerologist, and so was Schoenberg.
Yeah. I almost thought that you were sort of alluding to Bach and Christoph's work with Bach by making it such a numerically perfect piece.
I didn't make that connection, but that's a good connection to make. Yeah, sure.
But it's so rich too. It's just such a beautiful little piece. So.
I love the piece, and I spoke to Christoph, and he mentioned how much he loves the piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.